All right, welcome back. Today we're going to dive into something really fascinating, an ancient framework for understanding and, liberating the mind. We're talking about a path laid out over 2,000 years ago for breaking the invisible chains that hold us back.
So this whole journey really starts with a question for you. What are those invisible forces shaping your life? You know what I'm talking about, right? The hidden mental patterns, those automatic reactions that just dictate everything. That feeling of being stuck, repeating the same old cycles, and just not feeling truly free. Where does all that actually come from?
Well, in the ancient Pali language, these forces have a name, Saṃyojana, and it translates pretty literally to fetters, bonds, or chains. Just think of them as these invisible psychological shackles, the things that keep us tethered to dissatisfaction, caught in that endless loop of wanting and becoming.
Okay, so let's get into the first steps to freedom. The path to breaking these chains, it's not some giant leap. It's actually a gradual step-by-step process. And the whole journey really kicks off at this critical point of no return, a stage they call becoming a stream enterer.
Right, so a person who actually reaches this first level is called a Sotapanna. And this is a huge deal. It means they've entered the stream, a current that flows, unstoppably towards liberation. From this point on, they are guaranteed to reach full awakening. They literally cannot fall back into lower states of being. It's irreversible.
So you're probably wondering, okay, how do I enter this stream? Well, the entry point is super specific. It requires the complete, and I mean utter, shattering of 3 fundamental fetters. And listen, they aren't just weakened here. They are permanently destroyed, gone for good.
Okay, so these first 3 barriers they're just so fundamental. The first one is Sakkaya Dishti. That's this deep, core belief that you have a solid, unchanging self, an I that's permanent. The second is Vicikiccha. This is that crippling, skeptical doubt that just paralyzes you from making any real progress. And the third is Silabbata Paramaso. This is basically clinging to rituals, thinking that just going through the motions is some kind of magic bullet for freedom. Taking out these 3, it changes the entire game.
And get this path was never meant for just a select few monks or anything. The ancient texts mention that in just one local area, there were more than 500 ordinary, everyday people, lay followers called upasaka, who had reached this first, irreversible stage. That's amazing, right? We're talking about regular people, not just ascetics in a cave.
All right, next up, the once returner. So after that first major accomplishment, it's like the foundation of the house is secure. It's solid. From here, the work turns inward, focusing on those even more powerful, deeply rooted emotional chains.
So, this second stage is called the Sakadagami. This is someone who's already broken those first 3 fetters we just talked about. Now they go head-to-head with the 3 core poisons of the mind. Raga, which is greed or passion, dosa, that's hatred or aversion, and moha, or delusion. Now they aren't totally eliminated yet, that's key, but their power is just profoundly weakened. They become like a shadow of their former selves.
And yeah, the name Once Returner pretty much says it all. Their journey is getting really close to the end. Their whole karmic path is now so refined that they're destined to come back to this world just one more time. And that's it. That's when they'll complete the path and put a final end to all suffering.
Okay, now we get to the non-returner, and this next leap is a really profound one. We're talking about completely severing the chains that bind our consciousness most tightly to the sensory world, the world we experience every single day.
These are what are known as the 5 lower fetters. You'll recognize the first 3 we've already covered, but now we add 2 more heavy hitters to the list. First, Kamacha Chanda, which is that raw, intense desire for sensual pleasures. And second, Vyapava, which covers basically all forms of ill will and aversion. These 5 together are what really truly keep us chained to this realm of existence.
And when someone breaks all 5 of these, wow, they become an anagami, a non-returner. It's like they're now completely free from the gravitational pull of our world. They will not be reborn here again. Instead, they'll reach that final liberation from a much higher, more subtle realm of existence.
Okay, so this begs a really crucial question, right? We've got this list of fetters, but what about the mechanics? Like, how is a chain actually forged in our minds from one moment to the next?
So one of the core texts on mindfulness, the Masatipatthana Suttam, explains it with just striking simplicity. It all starts with contact. That's it. The eye sees a form. The ear hears a sound. The mind has a thought. It's that simple, initial meeting point between our senses and the world.
And this quote right here is the key. It says that a fetter, a Saṃyojana, arises depending on both the sense organ and the object, the eye and the form, together. So it's in that tiny little space between seeing something and reacting to it, that's where the chain of attraction or repulsion or even indifference starts to form.
So the actual practice, the path itself, it's not about using brute force to break these chains after they've already locked on tight. No, it's about developing this sharp, clear awareness to see the whole process unfold in real time and then just choosing not to engage. You just don't let that shackle click shut.
All right, so let's talk about total freedom, the arahant. What happens when every single fetter is gone? Not just the 5 lower ones, but also the 5 even more subtle, higher ones that bind us to even refined states of being. What happens when they're all finally broken?
This is the arahant, a fully liberated being. The texts describe them with this amazing phrase, parikkhina bhavasamyojano. It means someone for whom the fetter of becoming itself, that deep, subtle drive for continued existence in any form, has been just utterly and completely destroyed. This is the end of the line. No more rebirth.
And the descriptions of this state, they're just so powerful in their finality. They've laid down the burden, ohitabaro. The work is finished. They've done what had to be done, katakaraniyo. And all those deep-seated mental taints are extinguished, kinasavo. The journey is over. There's nothing more to do, and absolutely nowhere else to go.
So, let's talk about why this all matters today. I know this can all sound like really abstract ancient philosophy, but if you look closer, you'll see it's a remarkably practical and detailed guide for anyone, at any time.
See, this framework of the fetters, it's not just some religious doctrine. It's a psychological map, a map of your own mind. It pinpoints with incredible precision the exact patterns of thought, the deep-seated beliefs, and those automatic emotional reactions that keep us stuck in cycles that we create ourselves.
And this brings us to one last question for you to really think about. As you look at this map of the mind, from the chain of ill will to the chain of doubt to that deep, deep chain of clinging to a fixed identity, which single one, if you could just break it, would change absolutely everything for you?